What's up, everybody? Levi Washington here, bringing you the second installment on the truth about healing. It's a quiet Slovenian morning today. I'm out here staying at my relative's vineyard house, and it's overlooking the town. It's absolutely beautiful. But let's get down to business. If you haven't seen the first video of this series, please go check it out, because if you're looking for a shortcut, go get yourself a good barber. Because I'm sorry, that is not how healing works. In that video, though, just a quick recap, I touched a little bit on my own scars and weeds that, over time I allowed to eventually twist and grow into a crippling fear of failure and commitment that I carried not only in my sports, but also into school and in my relationships with family, friends, and women. There's a lot of other stories that, I don't feel at liberty to share due to other people's involvement, but the principles on how these weeds start is relatively universal, and that's through breaks. I believe we break mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relatively the same way that we do physically. These breaks come in all shapes and sizes, stemming from things like a broken promise, a forgotten birthday, absence, physical abuse, unfaithful partners. We all have our breaks. And sometimes it's clean. Sometimes it's clean, and with the right knowledge and care, it's easy enough to reset and continue on in a normal range of motion. Sometimes it's a fracture. It could be a little harder to detect, but sometimes possibly more dangerous. Sometimes we're broken over and over and over again in the same place, and sometimes in other places. And sometimes we are shattered catastrophically. The bottom line is, all I know in all of these cases is that if the break is not set and treated properly, it will never heal properly. It's as simple as that. If you leave it here, yes, over time, the pain may subside, but you will be left crippled. You won't be able to move it this direction or that direction, and this will hurt, and that will hurt, and you won't be able to put any real weight on that. And you'll actually need to go through the painful process of re-breaking that and going through rehab if you're ever going to want to have that full range of motion back again. In my experience, we do just about anything to avoid pain. We don't set it. We don't want to re-break it. We just want to leave it in a cast or a sling, or we try and make other people feel how we feel. But I'll be looking into coping mechanisms a little bit more in my next video. Right now, I just want to say that the breaks in our heart are serious. And love is a funny thing. If there's two things I know about it, it's one, love is not about what we can get, about how someone else makes us feel. It's about what we can give. And number two, I don't believe love was meant to be broken. We all have our breaks and our scars and our weeds, and usually those are actually under the surface of the water. They're the bottom of the iceberg, the more dangerous part that you need to get into. But usually we associate our breaks from what we can see, the tip of the iceberg. And that usually, for most of us, will be in our romantic relationships. They say that the first cut is the deepest, and there's a reason for that. Because we broke something that was not meant to be broken. I'm going to wrap this up by saying if you feel like you're living in a fraction of what you once knew, if you don't have full range of motion, if you feel like you're wearing a cast or hobbling around on crutches through life, if you're struggling with insecurity, fear of failure or commitment, you have trust issues, if you're struggling with loving, allowing yourself to love, or allowing yourself to be loved, then maybe it's time to get deeper into that mirror and start really checking for those breaks. And when something's broken, what is it that we need to seek? And that's medical attention. I'm going to leave you with a question. Where are you going for treatment? Think about that. If you're tracking with what I've been saying, all I can do is invite you to walk with me. So please follow, subscribe, but more importantly, share. These last 6 months has been such a painful, re-breaking journey for me, and I know that there are people out there that are living out of some really broken places, living out of scars, and that breaks my heart. And I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear this and know that they are not alone. So, until next time, peace.